about time. What's going on?
Rumor report, rumor report. This is the Rumor Report.
Talk to him.
With Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
Well, somehow yesterday, Tyra Banks was trending, and that is because of old clips of an America's Next Top Model going viral on Twitter. Now, there's a couple of things that were a big deal, such as Psycho 6 contestant Danielle Evans. Tyra Banks was telling her she needed to get dental surgery to close the gap in her teeth, and this was back in 2006. Here's what that sounded like.
So, Danielle, you went to the dentist, but you refused to have your gap closed. Do you really think you can have a CoverGirl contract with the gap in your mouth?
Yes, why not?
This is all people see. It's easier, he's beautiful CoverGirl. It's not marketable.
Yeah, just a little bit is okay, but I don't want to completely close it.
Well, I guess she just left the gap wide open for another girl, baby.
I agree.
So what?
All right. Also, there was another clip of her talking to Yaya, and the judges were telling Yaya that she was just acting too African and then getting defensive.
You have this intensity to prove your sort of Africanness, and I think that sometimes it's overbearing. It's just too much. It's sort of a layer on top of a layer. In response to trying to prove myself as an African, that's just where I come from. It's very natural to me. And I did not choose that hat for the very specific reason that it's very cliche. The fabric that it's made from is very artificial, very cheap, fake kente. I didn't have the time. I know I'm running on.
There's a different way of explaining yourself and being defensive. And you're being very defensive, and it's not attractive.
Now, in defense of Tyra, some people were saying, well, this is how tough it is in the modeling industry. And this was Tyra Banks just reflecting what the standards were in the business at the time that people had to follow to become successful in her career field. And she was trying to make sure that everybody was tough enough to be able to make it.
Bruh, that was 20 years ago. Like, I don't like y'all. I hate people like y'all. How do y'all wake up one day and say, hey, we're going to go at Tyra Banks for something Tyra did and said publicly years ago? Do you lay that out on the bed the night before and say, tomorrow we're going to kill Tyra? You had whole seasons of Top Model, reruns of Top Model, and you're just going to wake up on a random Taco Tuesday and start going at her. That's whack.
Well, Nina Parker wrote on Twitter, and you know her as an E! News correspondent and nightly pop co-host. She said, I remember watching this as a young woman, and I felt extremely discouraged to be on TV because of this scene. I was disappointed in Tyra then. She ended up pressuring this girl to get dental surgery to be marketable. Also, my gap in TV contract say hi. So that's what she wrote on Twitter.
I mean, I do understand. I do understand, but I think Tyra was saying back then in the industry, they looking for this type of person. And if you want to get in the industry right now, this is what it is. I don't think it's right. You shouldn't have to change any of your features for anybody, but I think that's what she was saying based off her experiences.
Man, y'all do realize society was different back then, right? Culture was different.
Totally different.
We tolerated a whole lot more than people do now. Imagine if back in the day you used to do 70 on this highway, then years later the speed limit changes to 55 on the same highway. So like any responsible citizen, you start doing 55. Imagine if they start sending you speeding tickets in the mail because you were speeding back in the day. How stupid would that be? The speed limit was 70. You was doing the speed limit.
I also am not mad at people like Nina Parker and other people who weighed in on Twitter on how that did make them feel at that time. If that was their truth in reaction to a show that a lot of people watched. I don't think they were saying cancel Tyra, but they were saying this is how I felt.
It bothered them,
when I saw that.
If they felt that way back in the day, if they felt that way back in the day and they still feel that way now, I totally understand. But you fools who just wake up.
Way, but she was saying at that time, this is what it made me feel like. And there's nothing wrong with that. That was just a reflection.
Nothing at all.
All right.
I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all gonna get what y'all asked for because it's a lot of people in hip-hop culture who used to be a certain way 15, 20 years ago. Some of your favorite rappers now, you don't want them to be revising history. Imagine they come at Snoop now for stuff that he used to rap about.
Right, no,
Eminem for stuff
I get it, but if people felt hurt back then and they bring it back up now, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? It's the same conversation when people had dreads and people made them cut their dreads for, to get a job. And now you can wear dreads. If people felt that way because somebody said that, it's not whack that people feel that way.
These were things that people said publicly 20 years later, and you're going to try to punish them for it 20 years in the future?
Are they
20 years ago now?
Or they just punishing? They're just,
giving
it's just stupid. You're writing out old speeding tickets. The speeding limit used to be 70 people. It's 55 now.
But you can't say what people's feelings are stupid. Like if I had a gap back then, maybe I watched that and I felt a certain way. And I'm like, damn, I feel like, insecure because I can't get a job. You know what I mean? I get why people would be
understanding. Can I move on, guys?
Wait till they hear you saying the F word on a mixtape.
Commencement speeches on YouTube. Now, if you've been paying attention to everything that's going on, you know a lot of commencement exercises have been closed and canceled. But fortunately, Barack and Michelle Obama are doing YouTube's Dear Class of 2020 original special. It'll feature other celebrities as well, including K-pop sensations BTS, Lady Gaga, Condoleezza Rice, Chloe and Halle, Kelly Rowland, Kerry Washington, Alicia Keys. So it should be pretty exciting for people who are graduating. I know it's a difficult time and we're trying to figure out how can we navigate through this, but a lot of people are participating. So if you want to see Dear Class of 2020, that will premiere Saturday, June 6th at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. And Barack did confirm he's also participating in 2 more commencement exercises. May 16th, he'll take part in a special Show Me Your Walk HBCU edition. That ceremony's at 2 p.m. And later on that night, he'll be addressing high school seniors at 8 p.m. Okay, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your Rumor Report.
All right. Thank you, Miss Yee. Now, when we come back, we got front page news. What we talking about?
Yes, we'll be giving you updates on what's going on around the United States as far as coronavirus, who's opening back up, and why can't you find meat at Wendy's anymore?
All right. We'll get into that next. Keep it locked. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.